Justin Raffaldt is a very fine young man.
Justin probably runs a speed of anywhere from 45 to 65, depending on the hardness of the track.
I think he's one of the finest little fellows I've ever seen drive, really.
I like racing because it's fun and it's what I want to do when I get older.
Woodleaf's been here for about 28 years now. We got a name for being one of the fastest tracks in this area anywhere, about as fierce a competition as anywhere you're ever going to run. It's kind of known around the go-kart circuit. If you can go win at Woodleaf, you can go anywhere and run it up front anywhere you want to go.
This one is sort of a long track instead of a short track. It's got longer straightaways on it than, say, Millbridge.
Basically, go-kart racing is where a lot of your big boys started out at. You get seat time on dirt, the speed, and they pick up the knowledge they need to carry them on. It's pretty much a sport. If you want to race with Jeff Gordon, Earnhardt, and all them, this is where you got to start out to build your roots. You can't show up at a track and say, I'm going to be a race car driver. It don't work that way. This is sort of like the college fun for racing.
Okay, our next class up is the Junior Restricted Division. Starting on the pole, part number 88, Boone Squalon. On the outside pole, part number 3, Justin Raffaldt. In your third spot, part number 31, Ryan Summers. Part 21 is Cameron Little. These guys put on a great race for us last weekend, so we want to be sure you pay attention to this Junior Restricted up-and-coming class.
Justin would be a good man to sponsor for the simple reason he's in the spotlight. He's always out front. That's where he usually runs, and everybody watches him. Everybody gauges he's sort of a benchmark, and by being a benchmark, then that's where you want your name. If you're going to sponsor anybody, is the man that stays out front and the man that everybody's watching.
I started 11th and they got into a pile-up in turn 1. I went under them and then I came out like 9th, and then I had the rest of the race to pass cars.
Justin, he runs up front, he runs clean, he runs fair, they don't cheat, they run a good clean game, and he's a good sportsman. He's just the type of kid that we love to have come run here. We're very happy to have Justin here anytime.
I hope my brother wins Junior Restricted.
Last year he won 27 races in 1 year, which is really unheard of. I mean, there's kids been running for 4 and 5 years and don't have that many races under their belts, but this is a very competitive sport. This is called prepping the tires. Hopefully they'll grip the track and go to the front. Justin's been doing this for about probably 3.5, 4 years. And we have to learn what we're doing every time we come to the track, because this right here is the most important part. When they're zigzagging back and forth across the track, they're cleaning the debris off their tires so they'll grip on the restarts. Because when you run around the track, it builds up on them, and when you nail it, the tires spin instead of go. That's pretty much what you might see Justin do a little bit other night.
These younger boys, we work with them real close, and I look for us to have some national champs and stuff come here, and I think Justin could very well be a contender for one of the titles into the national champs and maybe move on into some car racing later on. He's a good little driver and got a good level head. I think Justin can go a long ways.
From a daddy's point of view, when he wins a race, especially with the competition you got here, it's as special to us as if Gordon just won the Daytona 500. I mean, that's the way everybody out here looks at this sport, because you got to dig, struggle, and work just as hard as them boys do to win a race here, because it's definitely not handed to you. And the payoff of this sport is watching them come 3 wide off turn 4 and him pull off a win. Money's not worth that. I mean, it's just hard to explain, especially when you put the work into it that we put into it, and when you see your effort pay off.